over the years knows they don't play by the same rules as you and me, or at least they don't think they have to. Now even Time magazine is shining a spotlight on this phenomenon with a cover story titled "The Clinton Way." In it, they say, quote, "The Clintons play by their own set of rules," and in this case, the former Secretary of State explained those rules bless her decision to erase some 30,000 emails from the family server, despite knowing that the emails had become a subject of intense interest to congressional investigators. Okay, guys, let's bring it around. Dana, you like this Hillary story. Time magazine. By the way, did you see the Time magazine cover?
Yeah.
Was that inadvertent, or was that?
Well, let's explain it. So the Time magazine cover has just a silhouette of Hillary, and there are some people, if you zero in up there where the M is, the top of the M, the question is, did they do it on purpose to make it look like she has horns? And I don't think they did it on purpose.
Very
purpose. No,
good
I think
enough,
I think it was inadvertent.
Talk about what they highlight, the fact that the hiding the emails is going to be problematic.
So the story, when she had her press conference this week, I know that they hoped that it would go away, but it's very interesting to see how it continues to drip out and develop. One, you have the White House distancing, which the quote in Politico is that at the top, very top levels, they are saying about this, what the HE double hockey sticks. The second thing is you have security experts saying that there are actually rules and regulations and laws of how you have to deal with sensitive information, even if it's not classified, and she did not obey any of those. Then you have this information from Shannon Coffin, who is a former DOJ lawyer, who says there is one form that every government official has to sign when they leave. It's OF 109. The State Department still has not told us whether she signed it or not. I don't see why it's that hard. It's one piece of paper. It exists or it doesn't. They should have been able to tell us that 2 days ago, but they don't. And then the final thing I'd say on that is, yet again today, the State Department had to come out and reverse its story again about whether the emails were archived, because it turns out up until last month, they were not. But Hillary Clinton said they were 2 days ago. So that's why the story continues to grow.
Yeah, it keeps having legs. Julie, New York Times broke the story. AP and Gawker are filing suit against the Clintons for some of the emails. And now Time magazine runs the Clinton Way piece. Left-wing media, mainstream media, are they pushing back on the Clinton?
Well, she was
possible
never beloved by the mainstream media. I mean, they basically took her down in 2008. Remember, Obama was sort of the shining star. But look, I'm a liberal. I want to see her be president because, again, I keep wanting her views to be in the White House, not necessarily Hillary Clinton. But I'm outraged by this story. I think it's despicable. I mean, there's no excuse for it. There's none whatsoever that she did what she did. And so ultimately, when you have these kinds of situations, you have Hillary Clinton going out there and saying these rules apply to everybody else, they don't apply to me, it lends itself to Time magazine stories. And they're right to have done it. What I find fascinating is if you look at what the Clintons are looking at, what the nascent campaign is looking at, they're looking at the fact that her numbers are not moving.
Isn't that crazy?
I'll tell you why.
I'll
tell you why. Everybody in America, except for millennials, have made up their mind about Hillary Clinton. They either love her or they hate her. This is empirical polling data. And only 4% of millennials are paying attention to the story. The only people who have not yet made up their mind, only 4% of them are paying attention. So this will not move her numbers.
Drip, drip, drip eventually fills up the pool?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going away. You know, when you combine being a lawyer with being a politician, you end up seeing the world as a board game in which you are immune to the instructions. She's got a pocket full of get out of jail free cards, and she's going to use them for life. She's transformed public service into royalty. She's more of a queen at this point than a candidate, which is what makes it so entertaining, because you know that she thinks debates are going to be beneath her. How dare she be on the same stage with these people? It's like sharing an elevator with a delivery man. And then she's going to be even disgusted by the idea of voting. Like, how can 300 million people matter as much as me? Can't we just, she wants to be anointed, and that inner psychology is driving her crazy.
Jed, go ahead. I'm just wondering, John Gotti, Teflon Don, is she Teflon here?
I mean, I think the biggest problem is that her delivery stinks. I mean, Bill Clinton could have walked into that presser and he could have had the same problem, and he would have convinced us all to somehow have empathy for him. She's not good at this. She's not a good politician. So the transparency issue aside, I think what's going to be a big problem for the left is that she's not going to be good at debates. She's not going to do well with communicating. She's not going to do well with resonating with voters. People aren't going to identify with her. They're going to see her as an establishment person. She didn't even lift her face up. I mean, whoever coached her on that appearance should be fired. You don't stare down at a paper.
But
well, they should have done a better job, because that did not work. That's not going to fly.
Hang in here. Stay right there, because enough about Hillary. What about the GOP?